Hey, it's me. Anyway, I figured I'd give some sort of update or at least a rundown on the cars that I am using for my speedruns and various other projects I have going on. So this is the brush motor car that we saw last time. I did get a 59 with it, but I haven't been able to best it on when I have time to run. I've gotten some 58s after switching to the 9-turn motor. I think I need to go lower on the teeth. I went from a 13 double to a 9-turn double uh, with the Mamba Monster 2 in high power brush mode. So we'll see how that works out. Again, I'm happy I got my matching wheels because they're such a different size. But this has been a fun project and a challenge. And it's definitely easier uh, when I crash it compared to some of these other cars you're going to see. So my main speedrun car, or my main speedrun build, has been this TP powered monstrosity that I lose traction on a lot, and I painted the body, and well, it's already beaten up. I've barely gotten anything out of it. I'm working on Aero. It was getting very light in the rear, so I've added my fins here, as others like to do, but in my own way. This one is also a TT-02. That's one thing about my cars I've enjoyed. This is a TT-02. This is a Tamiya TT-02, and this is a Tamiya TT-02. All of them very different, but trying to learn different aspects of crashing because, well, that's what I do most of. So I've added my fins. I still need to add the reinforcement pieces. I'm waiting on some paint. I may touch up some of the candy blue here underneath. This is an XL2 powered car with a bunch of custom front end stuff. Uh, Working on the rear lower plates for the Aero. Big TP motor in there. This is supposed to run on 3S, but like I said, at about 40-50 miles an hour, it starts doing the parachuting effect, even though the back is cut out. That was before I added the fins, so it looked as if it was basically cavitating in the air. I don't know all the terms here, but it's just so filled and so fat that it would act as if it had a back in it. So I'm trying to reduce all of that and streamline everything going forward. Um, as I continue running it, I'm obviously going to need a longer stretch to run it, but that's why I've been practicing with these other cars on the short stretches because I imagine this one is going to continue to be a bear to handle. The next TT-02 I've been working on and off has been my quote unquote cheap build. This is a direct drive, large 795 motor. I've offset some of these. Oh, it's some of these holes so they stay on tight. So again, big fins on this one. More custom Aero. I've been trying on different cars. This one, the traditional diffuser style. So this one doesn't go that fast. This one, these two are around 50. The 2S brush car has been my fastest car so far without crashing. Um, I have gotten this one to 70, but that was with the old chassis, and I hit a mailbox and broke the bulkhead. So that's how it goes, right? So I've got GRPs here. Um, had to get a couple things to adjust the suspension, but there's not a whole lot to it. It's just a big brushed motor in place of the center drive shaft. It's fun to drive. It has a lot of torque with regular tires on it. I put the GRPs back on it so I can try some runs. I had some foams, but I have no way to gear this car except to continue to add voltage. So I've run, I think, a 52 on 6S I'm trying to better that. I'll probably take the Mamba Monster 2, put it in here, run it in high power brush to see if I'm just missing amps. This is a cheap eBay brushed ESC that takes up to 6S. But you know, I don't know what it's putting out. There's no data logging. There's nothing like that. Yeah, so if anything else, I do have a VESC. It's speed control meant for skateboards. It does have a brushed mode, and it'll go up to 12S. So if all else fails, I'll keep trying to just push the voltage on this and see if I can at least crack 50, 60 miles an hour with all sorts of equipment and gear that wasn't meant to be run on this. It's been an interesting exercise, that's for sure. I really am proud of my Aero here. It's just foam, hot glue, polycarbonate, which, as a note, is one of my favorite materials to work on because it's clear, so I can model and see it and cut it quickly. It bends, it doesn't fully break. You can get it in various thicknesses, so it's very consistent, something easy to work with. I definitely recommend trying out some polycarbonate builds. Yeah, so I did have to go with the shorter ones. I was running shorter shocks here before I put the semi under tray. This one's HDPE plastic, high density plastic. The stuff takes a beating as well. But I did, before I added this and wanted to go with this body, I just had some small batteries here I was running. So that may have been my issue as well. Since my big motor car is supposed to be running the 3S batteries as well, once I get more. Right now I'm trying for single, so I only have the one, but I do need to get some more. I can try running them in here and seeing if I'm getting anything. And from there, I'll just keep upping the voltage. That's all I have here for this one. But it's a cool build. It's fun. It really pulls. It pulls like a truck. I've tried this thing a couple different ways. I've had it with a Subaru Brat body on it and some tires on it, but it's too top heavy, kept rolling over. So I put it back into speedrun duty, widened it some. Well, I guess widened it a lot, and put on some GRPs. We'll see what happens. I don't get a whole lot of time to run, so I build a lot. So that's why all my builds are a little crazy, because if I just put together a kit, I'd be done with it, and that would be kind of boring. So this is another one of my projects. This one is my latest project that I've somehow been obsessed with. Not having a whole lot of room to run, the idea of building a drag car was appealing. Wanting to continue with the Tamiya line of things, just because once you start building a lot of these, you'll realize a lot of the parts swap over. So I've actually got some TT-02 arms I've cut on here. I might try some other arms, but a bunch of custom stuff on here. So this is fun. This is just my test motor. I had a fresh Track 6 VXL sitting around, so I could run that. I've modified everything so I could run the widest tires I could that looked reasonable size-wise. So we'll see how it all works out. I do need to make some adapters. I'll probably test this with my Mamba X, but the Traxxas plugs are 4mm as opposed to 4.5. So we'll see how it runs. I want to go fast. I've got a Metal Gear transmission in here. Custom suspension setup tucked in the back so I can get as much steering as I can before it touches the chassis in all the places it touches the chassis, and see if I can't make it drivable. This one doesn't have a body on it. I'm going to be doing a custom body. I'm learning woodworking, so I'm going to make some templates and see if I can't either do carbon fiber or Lexan custom body for this one, since I feel like that's what's missing from some of my builds, what I want to do, some of the extra aero. And yeah, I haven't even put this together. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace, never used, still in the box. Wasn't even put together, and I haven't run it yet. I've just been cutting, adding, and making space for bigger motors if I decide to go with bigger motors. This one does have an underplate as well. and I'll be doing a wheelie bar, so I can try to put all this power down and see what happens. So that's where I'm at. My next car I'm trying to get real numbers out of, again, is the TT-02 2S brushed uh, vintage motors. I do have a newer motor that I have to gear really low. Lots of torque, and I'll do some custom gear stuff on them that I've tried. This one I'll probably take out again just to see what it does. I've got a slightly flatter area to run than I did before. Maybe it'll hit 60. I'd like to at least do 70 before I hang this up or figure out what I'm going to do with it. But, you know, it's been a lot of work doing the body, reinforcing the body. I do hot glue in the edges, tape on the sides, bolts all over. It keeps it mostly safe. I was going to do a weight comparison between them. This one has the tape, this one does not, but I started adding all the plastics to it. So we'll see which ones get to actually run next. But it'll be fun seeing a drag car going down and seeing how fast I can get it to run. Anyway, thank you for listening to my rambling in the middle of the night. This is my normal hobby time, late at night, tinker away while everybody's asleep. And hopefully I'll have a run soon. Take it easy.